Well, this is the way the page is looking right now. I used AI to create a piece of concept art for the background. And then, of course, I just used that as reference to draw the actual scene, the background of this panel. So that's the previous video I did was the AI, and you can probably pick out which one I used. But one thing I wanted to say was that, and I'm flatting it right now, so that's all this video is going to be. It's really quick. This isn't going to be a long video because flatting is super boring, and trying to look at the sort of like the analytics. I haven't really looked at it super carefully, but sometimes people only watch like less than a minute of the videos. So I'm thinking maybe if I make the videos shorter, maybe 3 to 5 minutes instead of 10 to 12, maybe that would be more useful. And then perhaps once I get my microphone once I get my microphone especially, hopefully that's not too far away, then I could do some, hour or 2 hour live streams where I'm just talking and working. But the actual videos would be shorter. So I'm already going to make this longer than it needs to be. But here's what it looks like so far. I'm actually really happy with it, and we'll see how it looks as it kind of comes to completion. I'm going to have to sort of fade this background into black the way I did here, and then this all will be black, which I think is going to look really nice. Here's the color. This is the flats. So that's what I'm working on right now, just kind of putting it all together. And again, this is the colors. So I think it looks nice. So all this is, for example, I'm trying to make really big selections. And so I'll go like, for example, oh my gosh, I don't even know what the heck I'm doing now. So I can feel free to be really messy and come all the way out here, and I mean, I'm going to have to clean it up, and maybe this is a terrible way to do it, but I'm just kind of showing you a little bit kind of how it works, I guess. So I'm just focused on the wall behind them. So here's that, and then let's just say I grab this random color. Oh, I was on the wrong layer. No wonder. So small selection is where I wanted to be, and there you go. So because I've already colored this, and now there's not going to be, or there shouldn't be, there probably is, but there shouldn't really be like any open areas of that I missed as if I was doing it with a pen. So when I do a selection, and I'll just refer to editing layer, you see now it's like it selects the entire thing, which is what I was looking for. And then I would do the same thing. So I'm almost done. I'm just going to kind of show the way it works. But so let's say I did this, and then this, and this. And then I would grab, like, let's say this bright pink and fill it. See? So it works like that. And then I'd go back down to the pen. I like to do no anti-aliasing. And then I can zoom in as much as I want, really, and get the appropriate brush size and just kind of come in and clean it up. And remember, this is just for selection purposes. So there is nothing like, you can be as accurate as you want. And when you get this close, it's like it kind of looks really wonky. Like I probably, if I had more time, I would probably have modeled this in 3D, at least like a block out. I wouldn't worry so much about the plants. I wouldn't like find plant models or anything like that. I might, at least a couple of them, but for the most part, I would just draw them in. And right now I'm zoomed in at 220%. So this is, I actually did all of the inking, as far as I know, 100% of the inking on this panel on the iPad. So I was at work. I basically had nothing to do. I was sitting in the break room. I had my iPad, and since this is perfectly appropriate for anybody and everybody to look at, I was just like, okay, I'm going to work on it here. So I actually really like the iPad. I like the way it feels more than drawing on the Wacom. Now, when I say that, I'm saying that I like the way I like the textile or the tactile feel of the Wacom. It feels a lot better than the glass of the iPad. But as far as being able to like long press or not long press, but in terms of like pressure sensitivity and the way it feels more natural. And again, this is not notwithstanding the glass of the iPad screen, which I finally got my cover. I haven't opened it. It's still in the box, or it's still in the packaging, the envelope, but I finally got it in the mail. I can't wait to try it out. I'm probably going to, let's see, what is today? Monday? Yeah, it's Monday night. I have tonight off, which I'm super excited about. I almost can't believe it. I'm going to have a regular night's sleep tonight. And then I work tomorrow in the daytime and I work tomorrow at night. But tomorrow at night, I believe my plan is to work 8 hours, which means I should have like 2+ hours in the break room to keep working on this, which is pretty exciting because I really want to get this final panel done. And it's going to be a lot of work because I'm trying to, I want to work on the grayscale and make sure that the values are correct. And it kind of it's lighter and less saturated as it's in the background, darker in the foreground. I want to make sure I separate the planes and all the elements, and I might even do a couple of different selection layers, just depending. It's going to be probably pretty complicated, and I really hope it turns out well because I think the final panel here is what's going to really sort of make or break the whole page, if that makes sense. But what I wanted to say, and I got sidetracked because, that's just what happens. But what I wanted to say is I did this whole inking on the iPad, and this is zoomed in, and now it's 180%. But if I go to 100, this is essentially what I was working with. And it looks huge on my monitor. Whereas, of course, on the iPad, it doesn't look huge. It looks more like an appropriate size. But I just felt like, you know what? This is really nice. This is really nice to be able to do this. I really like the way it feels. I like the way the lines look. Now I'm hoping that will translate when when the page is done and it's kind of looked at the size that it's, because nobody's going to read or look at the page at this close of a zoom level. Like, this is really zoomed in so I can be as accurate as possible with my selections and then with the coloring and all of that. But the way someone would actually look at it would be, even like probably like this, or maybe like this, which is 25%. But anyway, what I'm doing is I'm coming in here, and then like the next thing, so I do a fair bit of that pen painting, but geez, I kind of messed that up. But what I'm kind of showing is that I at least want to start by sort of making a large selection, and then finding a color that's fairly different than what you've been working with up to that point. That's kind of the goal, is just to keep things different and unique so that a selection doesn't sort of overlap. But I'm just going to keep doing this. And if I turn off the inks, I have 2 ink layers. I kind of got confused. So there are some issues, and it doesn't really matter. It does bother me when I'm working and I noticed that like this area that I just painted out maybe didn't get selected. But and you can fix that, but like within this, and it also doesn't help sometimes. So I don't know. This is a little bit messier than I wanted it to be. This is probably a bad example, but whatever. This is still the process that I'm going through to do my flats or my selections. And once these are all done, which this is boring, honestly, but like it's one of the things that I would be happy to do on the clock while, after I'm done with my work and I'm just hanging out, like sort of this mindless stuff that I would love to be able to outsource at some point, but I don't mind. If I'm getting paid to just sit here and make these selections, why not? I kind of like to do this on a boring live stream sometime and just be like, all right, well, this is going to take a little while to do. If you just want to hang out and listen to me blabber on, then feel free. But yeah, so it doesn't matter the colors. I just kind of want to say the colors that I'm actually using don't matter at all. The main point is that they're different enough from the ones that are right next to them that they're not going to be caught up in the same selection. So yellow and blue and red and purple and maybe like a gray, like those are all pretty much different from one another. So that's what I would be able to do. Let's see. I'm almost done. I know this is definitely longer than I wanted it to be, which is always going to be the case. I just can't help it. So maybe one of these days I'll be able to make really engaging, awesome videos that you guys are like, oh yeah, I want to watch like this entire 15 minutes of you working on something. Probably not. But that's what the live streams would be for. And then, yeah, I know sometimes I can't help it. Like, so that's on the background, and I got all these confused. Like, I started working on the regular ink layer, but like at this point, I could go back to the transparent, and I could sort of paint this back out in a way that makes me feel. And there's a little bit of purple back there. Kind of clean this up. Like, I don't really need to clean this up because this is on the Wacom, and I definitely noticed that the ink lines are smoother and more careful when I'm doing it on the computer, and they're sort of more, I don't know, I would say more natural, honestly, more natural when I'm using the iPad. So I would like to do, see, that's on the ink layer. I would like to do all of my inks on the iPad, except the iPad's like, what, 12 inches or something? 12.9? I don't remember, but it's something like that. I would really like to have a larger one, like a 15-inch iPad. I know that sounds crazy, but I mean, I just really enjoy the way it feels, and I'm super excited to try this screen protector paper feel add-on thing that I just finally got. It really took like 3 or 4 weeks, and I never doubted that I would actually get it, but I just haven't gotten around to opening it up. I'm hoping I have, and it might be a while. I mean, it might actually be a while before I do that because I'm a little bit nervous about taking it to work. I don't know. We'll see. The thing I read about it is that it feels great to work on. It feels like there's some kind of texture. There's some kind of, yeah, texture, I guess is the right word. But it is removable. And when you put it on, it feels great, but it kind of sort of desaturates and sort of alters the colors of the screen. It makes them less vibrant. So, for example, you wouldn't want to watch Netflix or YouTube or anything like that. In fact, I wouldn't even want to color because it's not going to show the colors correctly. But for drawing, and I mean, flatting would be fine too, but for drawing, I think it would be wonderful. So I need to look into how to clean it because when you're removing it and it gets dusty, apparently, like little hairs and stuff kind of get on it, and it sort of, I don't want to say ruins it, but it's like it gets dirty really quickly. So that's the main reason why I haven't opened it up, because I'd be happy to just open it up, put it on, take it off, put it on, take it off, etc. So let's just test this and then I'll pretty much wrap this one up. This is super boring. I just wanted to show you where I am, what the page looks like. I will say, to kind of wrap this up though, let me make a selection first. So that's cool, right? And then I do that, and then I do that, and then that would be that's the tree in the background, or the tree trunk. The coloring is going to be really important in this. I'm actually pretty nervous. I'm kind of scared, not looking forward. I mean, I'm looking forward to it, but I can really easily see this kind of being a little bit of a disaster. So I'm going to continue making selections, the small selections like I'm doing here. The large selection will be like, she will be one selection, and probably I'll do the other one like planes. So she'll be one for sure. And then maybe this whole tree trunk along with the lamp. This is like a candle. You can't really tell, but it is a candle. And then like the vines that are going around and this leaf, like this will all be one, because I feel like that's one like object. And then probably like this glass stuff, these beakers, this plant, this stone table, the notebook, and all this, these will all be one as well, because that's like in the foreground along with her. And then the shelving up to this grass, this is kind of like grass, maybe planted grass, like decorative or something, with these shelves, with these sort of stone wall, with the computer monitors, with the tables. Those will all be one as well. And then finally, the wall in the background, this little wooden ladder, just these big stone panels, I guess I'd call them, in the back. Those would be another one. So those are farthest back in the distance. This is sort of middle ground, and then her and the table in front are in the foreground. So I'll also make that large selection. I think that'll probably do it for the selections. 2 is enough. There could be a third one, who knows, but and honestly, it really does behoove me to prep it as fully or as carefully as I can, because I want to have fun coloring. I don't want coloring to be a chore, which I love coloring, but setting all this stuff up is really, it's not fun. It's very like paint by numbers. There's no creativity. You're just filling stuff in, staying within the lines. And it's tedious, it's time consuming, it's kind of boring. But at the same time, once you set all that stuff up, you're good to go. You're ready to go. You can start coloring and you don't have to think a lot. You just select either the small or large selection layer. You select what you want, you make the adjustments, and you move on. And it makes the coloring process so much more fun. So, eventually getting someone to be able to set up all these selections for me would be fantastic. Just let me focus on drawing and coloring. And then finally, I want to just say that I regret, I don't know if that's the right word, but I don't know. I don't like that. For example, here, panel 3 and 4, these characters are almost the exact same size. You could put them in the same panel together at their same exact like proportions or ratio size wise, and they would look like they belong. I really don't like that. I love that these are all different, and then I kind of screwed it up here by making, and of course I need to add glasses to Ivy in panel 2. That's just like almost like another layer, because I don't want to actually draw it on the same layer as the inks of her face. I want it to be separate because I could mess up. I'm gonna definitely keep it separate, and that's one of the benefits of doing this digitally as well. But I wish I had made her. I don't know. It's like I like this size for her. Maybe I should have made her bigger here. I probably should have. Maybe 25% larger would have been perfect. You know what? I mean, I obviously there's nothing I can do. I'm not going to go in again, like yet again, and change, because she used to be smaller like this. In hindsight, maybe that even would have been better with panel 4 being included, but long past. I'm just going to have to suck it up, hope people don't care, hope people don't notice, and they just appreciate what I did. They like the panel, and the coloring comes together and looks fantastic, and all the things in my mind that I hope it becomes. But yeah, I don't like the size. I think she turned out really well. I just don't like I need to actually draw this shirt to go behind her neck. I guess that's probably something I need to adjust. But this is the process. It's pretty slow. I could imagine it taking several hours, and with my limited time, several hours is a lot. So I'm just going to, make a video out of this. I'm going to upload it, and I will continue. I'll probably make the next video after all the selections are made, and I'll kind of start the process of laying down all the grayscales and record some of that. But I'm not going to do another selections video on panel 4 because you guys don't need that kind of punishment. So I appreciate you guys watching. If you've stuck around this long, I don't know what's wrong with you, but I like making the videos. I like talking. I like doing the art. So, I figure why not press record, and if people like it, cool. And if they don't, no big deal. Really, it's not a big deal. But if you do like it, click the like button. If you like the kind of videos that I'm making, and I'm hoping it's more consistent. It's unfortunately not nearly as consistent as I would like, but it's the best I can do, and I'm really trying hard. Hit the subscribe button. I would really appreciate that as well. And any comments are greatly, gosh dang it, I already said appreciated, I think, a couple of times, but I would really love it if you left any comments about these videos are boring, they're really long, can you make them shorter, or I really love what you're doing, can you explain this in a little bit more detail, or why did you do this, or what was your thought process behind this, or whatever kinds of comments. Great work, that video sucks, you did an awesome job, good or bad, it doesn't matter, but comments would be cool. I'd love that. Anyway, have a great rest of your day or night or weekend or whatever, wherever you are, and I will catch you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.